I got through part 1, okay, of this book. It's upside down. Hi, I came outside to film an intro, and I'm being beset by chickens. They are everywhere right now. Oh, and here comes Tulip. She's coming to see what's up. She's a little bit freaked out by the phone, so I don't think she's gonna come any closer. Here they come. They think I'm gonna feed them. Maybe they're correct. Hi, I'm Meowlo. Welcome to my channel. I am a mood reader chronically, and that is why I'm here today, because I'm trying to film a horror reading vlog, but I kind of thought I needed something lighter. Hi, Daisy. Lighter. Oh, even the ducks are coming. I thought I needed something lighter, so I thought, you know what, heck it, let's just also film a comfy vlog where I just read what I feel like reading in between all the horror books, because I think I need to break it up. I got Katee Roberts' new pirate romance book. Hi, Tulip. This is going to be noisy. Hopefully the microphone is doing its job. I also have to finish the D&D movie book, the Druids like backstory. I can't remember what it's called right now. I've been 50% of the way through this book for a while. Hello. And they finally sent me the notice that's like, you have to return it. You can't renew it another time. So I have to read this book, and that'll probably be the first one that you see in this reading vlog. I'm hoping to get through like 3 or 4 of them, because I have like 28 books checked out from the library right now, and I would like to lower that number and read through a bunch of them, or just return ones I don't think I'm going to read, because I think I'm about to come into a lot of books in the holidays, since that's all I ever ask people to buy me, and I need to clear out some TBR shelf space from these library books I just compulsively put on hold. So that's what this video is going to be, is just me reading whatever I feel like reading to get it out of the way and return to the library. So I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you guys in the Druids call, I think is what it's called. All right, let's go. Say bye, Tulip. Want to tell me a secret? Secret? I won't tell anybody.
The trees, they are singing.
Okay. There goes
to the tune of a song. And the wind is gently ringing the bell that brings the morning. Welcome of the dawn. Voice of the robin, the call of the dove, the red leaves are falling, the barn owl is calling, the welcome of the dawn. Hi. The dogs will be howling.
You know, this isn't the worst angle I've filmed at, so we'll make it work. Just a quick little update. I finished this book. I didn't like this book. I rated it 2 stars, and even that feels too high for me. I just didn't like it. I kind of forgot it was E.K. Johnston, and I don't really like her as an author. I will never forgive her for saying that Padme went to Mustafar to break up with Anakin. No, never again. This book was really boring. There was never really any conflict. So the whole time I was just kind of waiting, like, are we getting to the issue? No, it was just about Doric, the tiefling druid from the D&D movie, which I haven't seen yet. This did make me want to watch it, only because it ended with Simon the wizard sending her a letter, and it said he was besotted and he needed her help. And I'm like, okay, maybe there's cute romance. And I've heard good things about the movie. This, though, very boring. 2 stars, maybe even 1.5. I might go back and change my score. It's very boring. It was just her like kind of becoming okay with herself and realizing that she is loved and is welcome to be in this world. And it was just boring, because that was it. There was no real outside conflict or anything that ever really had any weight. And like one of her friends, spoiler alert, dies at some point. Calling them a friend is loose. They were not really friends. Even though she calls him a friend, I'm like, you guys weren't friends, right? You know that, right? He dies, and I was like, oh, okay. That happened. I almost didn't finish it. I got 50% through, and it sat there for like 2 months waiting for me to finish it. And I just sat myself down and forced myself to finish it, but I almost gave up at like 80% because I was like, is anything going to happen? Is anything going to happen? No? Okay, cool. She can shape into an owl bear, and I guess that's unheard of until now, but cool. I'm gonna watch the movie when my fiance gets here. I'm excited about that, but that book would not recommend. Not really worth reading unless you're just like desperate for a little bit more about those characters, then maybe sure. I know there's one about the rogue, I think, but after how bleh this one was, I'm not gonna go out of my way to get the other one right now. Now I'm gonna read To Kill a Kingdom. This is due back to the library on the 18th. It's November 16th, so this is next on my list. I'm kind of actually hoping to finish it tonight. So, but yeah, that's my update on, what is it called? The Druids Call. Would not recommend. Bummer. Hi guys. This is an awkward spot to do this, but it's awkward everywhere that I am today. I am out running errands. I had to pick up some makeup remover because last night I went to remove my makeup and noticed it was gone. So I'm struggling today. You can see my face is a little unhappy about it. Anyways, I'm out going to a new cafe that opened up today. I've been waiting for it to open for a while and I'm super excited to go check it out. I brought To Kill a Kingdom, which I made some significant progress in yesterday on accident. I only was going to read to page 100. I was like, I'm going to read to page 100 and go to bed early. Suddenly it's 2:30 in the morning and I'm halfway through this heckin' book. Like, I first started it and it did not grab me. I was like not really interested, and then I don't even know what happened. At some point it just grabbed me and I'm super into it. I'm loving it, and I did read the last page so that I could know for sure if it was a series or not. And I know that she has other books in this world, but I'm pretty sure this story ends in this book, which is awesome. So excited. Love that for me. But yeah, people are looking at me weird, so I'm gonna go to this cafe and see what they've got. I'll see you guys later. Hopefully I'll finish this book today. That's my plan. And I'm also going by the library to drop off this stupid Dungeons and Dragons book. Psh, dumb book. Bye.
I remember the days, all those years ago that never fade away. And I remember your face when you hit the ground. I can recall the time and place on a midnight walk through the old streets trying to...
Hi, I finished the book To Kill a Kingdom by Alexandra. Christo? I don't think I gave you the summary. It's just about like a siren who's banished to be a human, and she has to bring back the heart of a siren killing prince to her mother in order to come back to the kingdom, and it's about them interacting and stuff. I don't want to like give too much away because it's really good. I really liked this a lot. I loved this. The romance in this is everything I kind of wanted from like the Bridge Kingdom. If you've read that one, it feels just like really sudden. You're like, okay, she's gonna go and learn their ways and eventually love him, but it's just kind of like, oh no, he's hot and now I would give up everything for this guy. This is not that. This, they spend time together and the affection kind of comes through that, and I really liked this. I'm probably gonna rate it like 4 stars, 4.5 maybe. Like, I want to give it like a 5 because I loved it, but I'm gonna hold back. I give too many things a full 5 stars, so 4.5 for me. It is a series, but I think they're all standalones. I put the second one on my hold list. It just came out this year, I think. I'll have to double check, but I put that on my hold list. I think I pushed the hold off until December 1st though, because I have too many things to read. So finished this one. Very happy with it. Definitely recommend it if you like fantasy, enemies to lovers kinds of things. Hi Tulip, you got leaves on your face. I don't know what my next book is going to be. I think I have like a Regency romance that is going to have to go back to the library soon. I know what I want to read. I got the new Katee Robert pirate romance, and I'm kind of thinking that that should be what I read next. You know, just keep with the pirate theme a little bit, roll with it, because it's a Katee Robert book. I could read it in one sitting easy. You got stuff to say? She doesn't have anything to say. Yeah, you don't have anything to say. What are you doing? Yeah, I'll feed you. Don't worry. It's on my list. Alright, I'll see you guys when I decide what I'm going to read next.
To the tune of a song, and the wind is gently ringing the bell that brings the morning. Welcome of the dawn. Voice of the robin.
Hi guys, welcome to the weirdest angle yet. It's dark outside. I have no natural light to work with, but all my other lights are like plant lights, so they're super bright. I'm gonna be down here for a minute. I'm trying to start Hunt on Dark Waters by Katee Robert. It is about a witch who, in running from her vampire lover, jumps through a mystery portal mirror and ends up in Threshold is what it's called. And she gets picked up by the Unanoon. I listened to how to pronounce it and it's already left my brain. Essentially like the hunt, and things happen. She doesn't want to be there, but the rules are you either join the hunt or you die, I guess. And I just don't know if I can stomach this right now. I like the idea of a lot of Katee Roberts books. I really liked the Jasmine X-Men one she did, like for the Disney series. I'm pretty sure that was her. Or does she do the Olympus ones? I have no idea. I'd have to look. I've read something by her before and I like the idea of it, but I never really like the kinks that she decides to explore in a lot of her books are not really for me. It's always like exhibitionism or partners and stuff, and that's just not my thing. Not really my vibe. And when that becomes like the whole book, kind of ruins the plot for me, but you know, to each their own. It seems like they're pretty popular. In this one, I just don't know if I can handle going from reading To Kill a Kingdom, which was really well written and really well like plotted, and I liked the characters, to this with, you know, the snarky, sexy heroine. I don't know if I want to call her a heroine, but you know what I mean, where she talks essentially in like little quips and stuff, and they tell her, oh, you have to join us or die, and she's like, I don't know about that actually, like I'm not gonna pick, I'm not gonna make any choices. And he's like, well, you have to, and she's like, I don't think I do actually, I don't think so. And I'm just like, so this is how this is gonna be. It's gonna be that kind of character. Do you see him up there? Did you see that little paw poking at my head? Cubby. Yeah, I don't know if I can handle it. And like the guy, obviously he's like, oh, she's so sexy, I have to like carry her around and like not think about how sexy she is and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do this so soon after reading like a 4-star book. I don't know if I can go to something like this. I thought it would be like a fun break in pace, but I don't know if it will. So you'll either hear from me about finishing this or you'll hear from me about starting something else. So we'll see. Hi guys, I'm doing my best to read this Katee Robert book, and I'm like 145 pages in, like almost 40 to 50% or so. And I'm not gonna lie, I hate this book. I'm gonna try and finish it, just to get it off the docket and out of here, so that like I never really have to think about it again. But if I ever consider reading a Katee Robert again in my life, just stop me. Just be like, how about you don't do that? Because this is my third Katee Robert book. I've read the Jasmine and Jafar book and the Hades and Persephone book, and I just never really liked them. Like, I liked the idea of the Jasmine and Jafar book. I have zero memories of the Persephone Hades book other than the sex dungeon, because that was in both books. And so I'm kind of like, I don't exactly remember what scenes were from which book. And I'm like 100% expecting a sex dungeon in this book somehow. They're gonna go to an island and there's gonna be a sex dungeon. Like, if this book ends without that, I will be so surprised. But anyways, like, I just don't like this book at all. It just doesn't make sense. I think I'm trying to think too much. I was complaining to my fiance and he was like, I think you're thinking more than the author did when she wrote it, and definitely more than she intended people to think. And like, I have to remember that the genre for this is erotica, and I forget that about Katee Robert books. I always like read the plot and I'm like, ooh, this sounds like a fun plot, and then I read it and I'm like, oh, that was not the purpose of this book. It was not the plot. And so I'm like trying to remind myself that like, this is not a plot book. This is not a book for people who care about plot. But I'm just getting like so frustrated with little things. Hey guys, major book spoilers coming up. Skip to this timestamp to avoid spoilers, and watch for where the thing says spoilers up top. It'll disappear when I'm done. Okay, thanks. In this book, it's about, I don't even know what her name is, a woman who's a witch, and she is running from a vampire ex-girlfriend, but not really an ex-girlfriend because they don't like labels, so they never called each other either things. So she's running from her, ends up in this place called Threshold, which is like an in-between of different realms, and she gets picked up by the Unanoon or some, I don't remember how to pronounce it, I looked it up the other day, and she gets picked up by them, and her and the captain like immediately are like into each other, I guess. I don't even know how to explain it. I feel like I could do just like a rant about it, but I don't want this whole video to be about this because I'm trying to read like at least 5 books. There's just little things. They tell her that because she has come to Threshold, she's a trespasser or something like that, and she has to either join them on the hunt or die. Tea and cake or death! Tea and cake or death! Those are 2 options. And later we find out that there's like islands in this Threshold realm, and they're kind of modeled after the portals on their islands because there's portals to different realms. On the islands, there's people from those realms that are living there, and they have like little societies on these islands that kind of are replicative of what's through the portals. I'm like, so why are those people allowed to live in Threshold? But when she came through, she was given the choice like join or die. Like, so like, what is the rules here? Like, What is the rule? I'm just miserable reading this. It's not even like bad good. It's just bad. This is not for me. It's another book, like I did a rant review recently on A Wolf Gone Wild, and it's kind of similar to that writing style where everybody's like quippy and snarky and they're always talking about how hot the other person is, and they think to themselves like, I'm a hot sassy witch, like I don't need to listen to this person, like I can find my way out. And it's like, yeah, okay, you've only just been told like 17 million times that if you run you will die like everybody else, and like I don't really know how to drill this into your head. But of course, like we know that she's gonna run at some point another time. She's already tried, did not get very far. And they've said all these things like the vampire girlfriend or not girlfriend, no labels. We were introduced to her, our main female character. She was having a bad time because it was the anniversary of her grandmother's death. So she's like really sad and she's getting drunk off of tequila shots or whatever, and the vampire is like, I'm taking you home, you're not doing good. And she's like, and so she gets taken home anyways, and the vampire is like super sweet with her, and she's like, she's never been like this with me before, like this is crazy, like I don't understand why she's being like this. She gets woken up the next morning, or almost the morning, she doesn't really know what time it is, and the vampire is like, you need to leave and we can never see each other again, my mother's coming and you have to figure out how to get out if you're on your own, because I have to go and greet her. And she knows that like her mother might kill our main character. I think her name's Evelyn. Did I just suddenly remember? So Evelyn has to figure out how to get out of this house before this super powerful vampire shows up that she knows will like kill her or whatever. I don't know. And on her way out, she decides to steal stuff. And then she's like surprised that the vampire wants to kill her when she finds out. So she's trying to escape the house and she goes down the wrong room and she finds a portal to Threshold. And when she's trying to go through the portal, that's when her vampire girlfriend comes into the room, realizes she stole stuff and is like, I'm gonna kill you. And then she jumps through the portal and it explodes behind her. And I'm just like, what did you think was gonna happen when you stole? She's like, she's gonna kill me, she's gonna hunt me down. And they're in Threshold, where the rule is if you come through the portal like that, you either join her or you die. And she thinks that the vampire is gonna follow and like kill everybody. She's like so afraid that she's just like trembling. And I'm like, why did you fucking steal from her if she was that scary? You dumb idiot. Like, why did you steal from her if you knew she was gonna chase you to the point where you're so terrified of her? Like, I'm just like, why did we do this? Why did you steal from her? This book is making me upset. All right, I'm gonna try and finish it because I need to know if some of these plot threads, like why was the vampire so nice that one night? Does it matter that she was really nice? Why was she so nice to her that one night? And like, why did you steal her freaking jewelry? And then there's all this stuff about the like original people from the hunt, the original like Unanoon. I'm so sorry, I'm butchering that word. They keep talking about the originals and how you don't want to draw their eyes on you. And I'm just like, they better draw their eyes on them because heck, like you've been talking about it all the time. You cannot mention it so many times and then not follow through with this, right? Right? I don't know, man. Let me see if I can find this one moment that really upset me. I didn't find it, but I remembered what it was. She's trying to run and there's something about he catches her and she has this like realization that if she does this, like it'll go bad for him. And she's like, and Miles will take over the ship and that would be the worst thing ever. And I'm like, how do you know? Like, you don't even know Miles. And at this point she was on the ship for 2 days. 2 days. And she's like, if I run and Miles takes over the ship, then it'll just be terrible for everybody. And I'm like, you don't even know anybody. You don't know anybody on this ship. It's been 2 days. I don't know. I'm like almost 50% through this book and I really just want to finish it. I read the last page just to be like, is this worth my time? And no, I don't think it is, but I need to finish it. I don't like this book. I've been talking for 10.5 minutes already. This is ridiculous.
Everybody had a hard year. Nobody got their pay. What a time for the lonely ones. Thought every dog had its day. What a time for the wicked, the hungry and the brave. Ain't no time left to pretend. The car is on its way. Somebody call the cat in. We don't need another stray. If everybody had an answer.
Hi guys, I got a tripod. Not the best situation still, but at least I got that going for me. And hopefully by the end of this year, I should have like a dedicated filming kind of area, because I am moving into another office, so I will have space to work with there instead of kind of like studio apartment style thing I got going on right now. But I finished it. I'm free from this hell. I did a lot of skimming towards the end, especially because once the sex scene started, I was like, none of this matters. I can just skip through it all. So yeah, I finished it. 1 star. Did not have a good time. Did not like literally like anything about this book except the covers shiny and pretty. So there's that. Do not let me read another Katee Robert book. Please and thank you. The next book on my docket is Masters of Death by Olivie Blake. I just got the notice that I have to return this yet again. This is the 3rd time this has happened to me because I don't know what it is with this book, but I check it out from my library and they only let me keep it for 1 cycle. And I don't know, I don't think it's because it's a new book, because I have other new books that they've let me like renew. Usually they don't let you renew it if somebody has put a hold on it. But what keeps happening is they tell me I have to return it, so I return it, and then I'm like, well, I'll just put another hold on it because it'll be a while then if somebody else checked it out, because you get it for 3 weeks, I think. And so I'm like, it'll be 3 weeks, and then maybe it'll pop back up, or maybe somebody else has a hold on it. And then the next day, it's like, the book is ready for you. And I'm like, why is the book ready for me? Why are you making me return it if nobody else is putting a hold on it? I'm so confused. So it's happening to me again. I told myself when I first got it that this would be the last time I checked this book out, so I really need to finish it. I'm just kind of feeling like I'm on a bit of a time crunch because I also want to finish these horror books I'm reading. I've got 2 weeks to finish up that project, and so I'm kind of like, I think I have time to weasel this book in, especially if it gets me like One for My Enemy did, where I started that book and I finished it within like a day because I just really liked it. It sucked me in, and so I'm kind of hoping the same thing happens here. But I just watched, I think it was Katie Colson did a reading vlog of this, and she was like, it wasn't worth the time. So now I'm kind of like, do I even try to read this, or do I just return it and say adios? I don't know. I think I have to try to read it, even though it's not coming highly recommended at this point. All right, well, I'm going to try to read this. I don't really know what this is about. Something about a vampire realtor trying to sell a house that's haunted and other stuff. I wish I could show you the inside covers because they're like really beautiful. Because it's a library book, it's sealed down. I can't pull it off to like show it to you. So I'm going to give this one a go, and if I like it, I think I might finally try to read the Atlas 6 series, because I know another book in that series I think just came out or is coming out. I don't know, I'm waiting for it to be done. I don't like to read incomplete series. But anyways, this is the next one. Something about a vampire realtor. So let's get going.
I know I want you, but you don't need me. And I know it ain't easy thinking about what you would do. But now I'm gone, my head's in a spin again, and my heart won't let me begin to see I've got nothing to win. My words, they mean nothing, and I lie where I can. I lie down beside you, and I see why you can't understand me. But now I'm gone, my head's in a spin again, and my heart won't let me begin to see I've got nothing to win.
Hi, I'm coming to you from my bed because my eyeball feels like it wants to break out of my skull, so that's fun. But I got to about 40% in Masters of Death today. I think we should talk about it. Cubby's gonna knock my camera over. I don't know why every time I start talking he thinks he needs to be involved. I am enjoying it. There's a lot of characters. I really like them, and they're like unique different stories and everything. I like that a lot. I feel like I liked that a lot in One for My Enemy too. on some level. This is a little bit more unique because everybody's something different. The realtor, Vi, I think is her name. Maybe I'm just getting confused. Yeah, it's Viola, but she goes by Vi. There's just been so many differentVis in my head lately. She's a vampire. Technically, she's an Aswang. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but it's like a Southeast Asian style kind of vampire type thing. Every night she turns into a cat. She has to drink blood to stay alive, I guess. I don't know if she has to drink blood to stay alive, but if she doesn't have it for a certain amount of time, she starts to not do well. I'm not sure. But also she wants to eat like fetuses. So there's that. Then we have her friend who's a demon, Isis, and we have the godson of death, who is just a human who just happens to have been kind of adopted by Death because Death showed up to claim his parents and took him with him, I guess. He's just a human, and then his friends are an angel and a foot soldier of Lucifer, something like that. And then we also have the ghost, and now we have some like Norse half god kind of thing has entered the play. But at the same time, like, we just got a scene with like a bunch of immortals, and that's why I want to talk about it now, because I feel like there's been a turning point. I'm like 40% in, and I kind of feel like we've finally hit like the plot. It's been a lot of like, this is how this character got to where they are. The writing is super flowery. In my brief experience with Olivie Blake, I think it's just how she writes, and I don't dislike it. I just sometimes I'm skimming, and I was reading this today downstairs while they were setting up the Christmas stuff, and the kids were like super excited running around, and I had to reread certain passages just over and over and over again because I'm like, I'm not taking any of this in. The sentences just have so much going on. I don't know if any of this is important, but yeah, I feel like we just kind of hit the plot and we're 40% in, and so I'm kind of like, I don't really know where we're going. Like, I'm very interested though. I like the idea of it, and I like the like subtle hints of romance and stuff, and some not so subtle hints. I'm trying not to be too spoilery, so oh my gosh, there's one line that I really liked when they're talking about how Viola became like a vampire creature thing. She is like on an archaeology dig because that's what she went to college for. She gets turned there. Some guy wants her to be his wife because he's lonely, so he turns her into an Aswang, and she's like, no, actually. And she leaves, and so she doesn't really know what's happening to her. She is hungry, and she eats her professor, at least part of him. And she is like, it's a generally accepted philosophy that there's no finishing college when one has eaten any portion of one's research advisor. So Vi hadn't bothered going back to Indiana. And I was just like, true, I guess. True. Like, I just really like that line. I've just been enjoying the ride with this book. I feel a little bit conflicted on some level though, because I keep saying like I feel like we just are getting to the plot, and I'm 40% in. I hope that it all kind of comes and is worthwhile, I guess. I'm not sure. Like, it feels a little bit weird to have almost half of a book just be the setup. Is that what it is? I don't know. I'm just not sure. I don't know. I guess I'll see how I feel as it keeps going. Like, I am enjoying the process. Like, I sat down and just all of a sudden I'd read like 130 pages, and I was like, whoa, I don't even feel like I was reading for that long. I kind of want to read American Gods again when I finish this, because this almost kind of feels like Olivie Blake's attempt at American Gods in a sense, like, not just because like the immortals and the gods and stuff are involved, but because of their writing style. I almost just kind of want to go reread it. The way that this is written on some level, I'm kind of like, was this what American Gods was like? Because we keep getting like flashbacks, flash forwards, flash offs, I don't know, side things. I never know when like some of this stuff is taking place. It's interesting. It's very interesting, but it's just reminding me of other stuff. And so now I kind of want to go back and read those things. Not to just be like, oh my god, I think she's copying American Gods, but just because it's making me want to reread that, just get the vibe again, I guess. I don't know. But I'll catch up with you guys when I read a little bit more, once my eye feels like it's not trying to escape my body, because I would like to finish this. It's due to the library tomorrow. I'm cutting it close, but they're not going to charge me fees unless it's like significantly overdue, so I think I have like 2 days. By Sunday I'll be done, and it's Friday night. Hi, hopefully the audio on this isn't terrible. I don't have my little microphone. I just want to read you a little bit about like a line here. does nothing for the plot. But what I mean when I say that like her writing is super flowery and that like sometimes I either just skim it or I have to reread it. You have your expectations of heaven and hell. The fact that you call them such things, that there is a polarity in your mind at all, and that they are indeed poles, opposites, a study in contrasts, and with such poetically alliterative names, is already a misunderstanding. But there is only so much that mortal minds can see. True, there is a duality of sorts. Balance is king in all things, after all. But there is also a hinge you cannot see, and this is the place where the members of both sides are summoned. You have your expectations of a heaven and hell, don't you? Now subvert them. But it's like really pretty writing, but I'm so easily distracted. Like I'm so easily distracted that I'm reading that and like halfway through my mind is like distracted and I don't pick up the rest of it. And then I'm just like, wait a minute, what even did I just read? Did it matter? Like, because I feel like that very pretty paragraph completely skimmable at the same time. And that's just kind of how I feel about a lot of Olivie Blake's writing. Beautiful, but it doesn't have any like bearing on the plot half the time, which is totally fine. I think like I don't think it's a problem, but as somebody who is like really has focus issues, it makes reading stories a little bit hard sometimes. I'm gonna read a little bit more. That was just an example that I wanted to pick up and throw at you. I'm a kitty in honor of Violet Yola, who's a kitty right now. I'm about 60% through, and I may have read a little bit of the end because I'm like, wait, is this gonna be a series? But no, it's not. But I just read the end to check it, and I did want to see who was gonna be there at the end just in case. Okay, I'm the kind of person that likes to know where this is going. I will not have another Divergent in my life, okay? I refuse. So I read a little bit of the end just to check on the characters, and okay, it's gonna be worth it for me, just with how it ends, okay? It's gonna be worth it for me. I'm gonna be happy with it, I think. So, it's worth it. It feels meandering, but it must be purposeful. I don't know. Anyways, I'm gonna get back to reading. Okay, meow.
The trees, they are singing to the tune of a song, and the wind is gently ringing the bell that brings the morning, the welcome of the dawn. The voice of the robin, the call of the dove, the red leaves are falling, the barn.
Hey guys, good morning ish. I think the last time I talked to you I was like a kitty cat and being giddy about the end of this book. I finished it last night actually. Like I just sat and read this whole thing. Unfortunately I rated it 3.5 stars and I'm kind of like, should it be a 3-star? But I'm keeping it at 3.5 because I didn't hate the reading experience. I really enjoyed reading this, but it just feels like a 3.5-star read. And I'll get into it a little bit about why, but it's going to be in spoilers because I kind of have to like discuss a lot of things that might be considered spoilers. But essentially, I loved all the characters in this book. Like I loved them, but there were a lot of them and there was a lot of backstory and like solo time for each of these characters. And when I say there's a lot, I mean that you end up with what kind of feels like 2 like main characters, and each of them have somebody that breaks off of them, and then they've got like 3 people that break off at another level, and then there's other characters that like come in and out and everything. They get their own chapters and stuff, and so it's just a lot of characters. I would have loved separate books for so many of these characters, like the vampire realtor and the ghost. I wish they had their own little thing going on. And then you've got the godson of death and his other character. Honestly, like this was their book. Like all things considered, this was those characters' books. This was the godson of death's book. Like, as much as they want to tell you that it's about a realtor trying to sell a house that's haunted by a ghost, like, no, this is a God Son of Death book. But there's also like an angel and a reaper. I wish I would have had like their story a little bit more. It could have been fun. And the demon, I loved her, but there was just so many characters in this book that she was like trying to kind of flesh out and everything, which, like I said, I loved the characters, but I just feel like overall the book kind of suffered a little bit because she was trying to do so much with all the characters. I think I'm going to get into what I might consider soft spoilers right now, so I'll have a thing up on the screen that says like what timestamp to skip to. If you don't want any spoilers at all, I'll also have a thing up that just says spoilers until it's done. So I tabbed this book. So the blue tab right there is when we finally get the first inkling of what the actual plot of this book is. Everything up until then is, I guess, some sort of setup. So this is when we get this is the plot. So the overarching plot of this book is Death goes missing and they have to play this game that immortals play, where the only rule is don't lose. So you find out right here that Death is missing. He didn't respond to a summons, and I guess he's not cleaning up the people that died. He's not ferrying them on or something like that. And the orange is when they get to the game. So everything from like blue to orange is them working on getting to the game, which I guess is part of the plot, but a lot of it is just characters talking to each other and discussing things and flashbacks and stuff. And then green, this is when the plot kind of wraps up, and then we go into the characters and what they're doing after the end of the game that they had to play. My biggest issue is this chunk right here, where we spent so much time setting up the realtor premise, where we spent so much time reading the history of the son of Odin and his relationship with the godling, the half god. There's just so much setup, and I loved it. Like, I loved reading it. But when we got to the point where they were like, oh, we have to go find Death, I was like, what is all of this then? Like, what? And like, it all did kind of come together, but it just felt a little bit like too much. We got so much backstory for every single character. Like, we got to hear how Myra became an angel, and about her life and like what she did as an angel. And then we got to hear about how Cal became a reaper and about his life before and his experience meeting with Raphael and, is it Daniel? I don't even know who the angels are. His experience there. And these are like all beautiful, like ethereal scenes and like really well written. I can at least visualize this in my head, but did we need all of this story for all of these characters? And we had a lot of scenes with Raphael and whoever the other angel is, and after a while it got annoying. And there's like a whole section, like she really gets kind of experimental with writing in some of these areas, like not experimental, but there's a whole like little section that's written like a play almost. And as fun as that is, it was really annoying to read 3 pages of this, of reading it like this, the fool, the thief. They each get about 1 line. And reading this was so difficult for me, and that's part of why I don't read plays. It just immediately takes me out of like it's a book, because I have to be like, the thief, like change, you mean? The fool, yes, I suppose like change. The thief, I'm afraid I will cost you quite greatly. The fool, I think perhaps I'll go to bed now. And I'm just like, I don't like reading this. And she did things like that pretty somewhat regularly, kind of. I just didn't like it. That's just what I have to say about that. I did not like that stuff. I think I have 2 more things to mention before we move out of talking about this book. 1, they talk a lot about how there's suddenly like a lot of ghouls and stuff around and like weird supernatural kind of things going on. They mention it 3 times, and it's never brought up again, because they never say it's because of Death, or they never say that it's like what is happening. It's just brought up that, oh, there's like a ghoul in the park. Is that normal? I feel like you either give us more or you give us less, because it just felt like a fragmented idea. Like, what is up with, like, are the ghouls doing something? Like, is it unusual to have extra ghouls around? Like, is it because people aren't getting is that what happens if Death doesn't like ferry your spirit, or is he even ferrying spirits? There's just a lot of little things that are brought up that feel like fragments. Writers don't need to explain things to me. They don't need to be like, oh, this is bad because of this, but I never feel like it was fully fleshed out in any way where I'm like making an assumption that the ghouls are here because Death isn't there to deal with whatever he would be dealing with. But I don't know, is it important? Are they causing trouble? Like, does it, I don't know. I'm not sure. And then there's things flying in the sky and all these like just supernatural things. And so I'm just kind of like confused. What is death supposed to be doing with these things? Like, I guess I get the idea of ghouls, like their spirits haven't moved on, but they're dead. But then they were referencing like there's a lot of just supernatural activity. And so I'm confused what that has to do with anything. I don't know how it connects. Does it connect to death's disappearance? Does it connect with the fact that the games are starting up again? Like, I don't understand. And the other thing is that there are 3 romances in this book, essentially. You've got the godling and the godson of death. You've got the angel and the reaper. And then you've got the realtor and the ghost. And I liked the idea of the realtor and the ghost. Like, I was like kicking my feet in that last clip of me because I saw that they get to have like a happily ever after. But when it got there, it just didn't quite feel earned. These 2 are propped up like the main characters in the summaries. And how do you have a 400-page book where we spend a decent amount of time with these characters, and to me their romance just feels kind of like sudden? I'm not sure, because they do spend a lot of time together because she's trying to sell the house, but they're always like arguing with each other. You can kind of see it start to blossom, and then all of a sudden it's like fully there. How long was she trying to sell the house? I don't even know. It just felt a little bit weird and sudden. The other 2 romances felt good. You don't really see how Myra and Cal meet the Reaper and the Angel. You don't really know how they meet and how they get entangled. You just know that they are, and that's fine because they're background characters. I already feel like I have too much of them. I don't need you to go into depth to tell me how these 2 meet. It's fine. But when these 2 are supposed to be like one of the main romances and you spend a lot of time with them, why did it feel off? I'm not really sure. It just didn't feel quite right. And I liked this book. The ending felt a little bit rushed to me just because we spent so long with like setup and stuff, and then all of a sudden it's like hand waving, like, yes, everybody gets their happily ever after. Everybody gets to do what they want to do. The ghost and the vampire get to go and be human again because that's what they want, and godson and the godling get to go and live like mortals, maybe with a little bit of magic or whatever, for the rest of this lifetime. And then the reaper and the angel get to like live together or continue their current arrangement only a little bit better. Everybody gets what they want at the end. It just felt a little bit like hand wavy, I guess. I don't know. I'm not unhappy about it. I just think this book tried to do too much. I really enjoyed it overall. I don't know if I would recommend it though. Like, I feel like you need to know, like, it's gonna feel good and then it's not gonna feel good. I guess 3.5 stars. That's it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. I've been talking about it for 13 minutes. That's too many minutes. The next books I'm gonna read, I got the notice today, I think, that these 3 books have to be returned to the library in the next week. Oh, it's heavy. We got What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez, Paladin's Grace by T. Kingfisher, and then Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. And I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a loss on Cassandra Clare. Look at this beast. Look at it. All I've really heard is that it's not as good as her other books because this is the first time in a while where she's had to create a new universe. People are saying that they can tell, and that the romance is not up to par with her other romances, and that's why I like Cassandra Clare. I love her romances. So I'm gonna take a loss on this one and just return it to the library. Plus, if it's a series, I don't want to start that right now. My next reads are going to be one of these guys, Paladin's Grace and What the River Knows. I'm going to try to finish both of these guys before their due date. I don't really know what that due date is, but usually they let me know about a week out that these guys aren't going to be renewed. I think they're due like next Wednesday or so. I think this one, if I don't finish it, it'll be a while before I can get my hands on it again, so I might prioritize this one. This one, the library has like multiple versions of it, so I don't really know why they are making me return it. I'm going to blame Carrie Cakes because she keeps talking about this book. It's your fault that I have to return it. Somebody put a hold on it. Those are the next 2 books. I'm going to try and read those, and I'll let you guys know how it goes. I'm going to a holiday market today. I got my earrings on and my kitty cat sweater on. I'm excited. I'm doing Christmassy stuff. My family's downstairs setting up Christmas. It should be hopefully a good day. I'll see you guys later when I actually start some of these books.
Merry Christmas, baby. Reindeer's coming out to play. Santa Claus is packing the presents, making sure you've been behaving okay. Merry Christmas, honey.
Hey Guys, it's Saturday night. I'm like struggling a little bit. All I want to do is play Star Stable and watch some Jordaline videos, but I'm gonna try and read a couple chapters. I've decided to start reading What the River Knows by Isabel Ibanez. I'm gonna try to start reading that one. I tried earlier, but there's just too many distractions and I couldn't focus on it. All I know is that it's about a girl whose parents die while they're like searching for magical items in Egypt or something, and she ends up going to Egypt, and there's a handsome research assistant or something. There's a handsome guy involved, and she's trying to solve a mystery about what happened to her parents. It says the mummy meets death on the Nile. So I haven't read Death on the Nile, and the mummy scares the crap out of me. So, I mean, the vibes sound cool though. And then it says also it's a historical fantasy filled with adventure, a rivals to lovers romance, and shocking twists and turns. I love that it just says it's a rivals to lovers. Like, yes, tell me these things. Put the tropes in the summary so I know what I'm getting into. Thank you. So I'm gonna try and read like a chapter or two of this just to start progressing. I don't know about you guys, but like starting something is the hardest thing for me. Like maybe it's just my executive dysfunction, but starting anything, like the beginning is the hardest part of anything. Once I get going, I'm like, yeah, I'm going. This is great. I'm in the groove. But like the act of beginning, no, I hate it. Nope, not for me, but I'm gonna force myself to do it. I put it on video, I'm doing it, and I'll see you guys probably tomorrow with hopefully something to say. I logged into my Kindle app on my computer to move some things around and clean it up, and look at who is lurking here. A sample of a Katee Robert novel. Why does she just keep coming into my life? Why? Why? No, I'm deleting that one. I'm deleting it. Unless this is actually a good one. Is that how she keeps getting me? I keep being like, maybe this one will finally be the one that is good, that I like. No, I need to delete it. I need to resist.
Every Christmas, honey, yeah. The snowman's dusting off his hat, putting on the show for everybody, to give them a smile that lasts another year. There's something that happens when sleigh bells are ringing, when December ends, when the children are singing, yeah. It's Merry Christmas, baby. Ooh, yeah, there's room at the table.
Hello, good morning. Such a weirdo. Good morning from me and Cubby. I got through part 1, okay, of this book. It's upside down. Of this book, What the River Knows. I got through part 1 this morning, just a minute ago. I got woken up by somebody yelling outside my window, 7-year-old. So I was like, I might as well make the most of it. It's very early for me, as you can tell by my disorientation. It's 10:30 in the morning, but I've been up for about 2.5 hours. Got through part 1, and I'm enjoying it on some level. I feel like my sweatshirt, I can only wear it at my house because this is not appropriate for going out and about. I struggle with like main characters who are, I guess, like stupidly smart or smart but stupid. I'm not really sure. I guess she's just like sheltered. She's smart, but she's like hasn't really been out in the world, and she makes decent decisions, I guess. I'm not sure. Something is just, I'm not quite vibing with her. But I have been duped. I have been fooled. I did my usual thing of like checking the end of the book to see if this is a series or not. I thought this was a standalone. Learn from me. This is the first in a series, and the other books, no idea when they're coming out. They're not listed on Goodreads, so that doesn't mean there isn't a release date. It just is not on Goodreads. So I've been fooled. It almost makes me like want to stop reading because I hate like unresolved series. It's just not my vibe. I will forget about it forever and I'll never know the end. I don't know what to do. Do I read it anyways, even though I looked at the end and I know like what it is? Like, I don't know. I'm a third of the way through. I should just persevere. I could probably finish it today if I really wanted to, but I'm bummed. I'm up early, not of my own volition, and I've been fooled into reading an unfinished series. Why did nobody say this was a series? I've seen people talking about this. Is anybody else saying it's a series? How did I miss that? I'm usually so good about this. Alright, I'm gonna go back to reading, and hopefully the book will be good, but I know it will not be satisfactory. It will not end in a way that I will be like, yes, I'm happy with this ending and I feel fulfilled, and it sucks. Maybe I'll be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm right.
Something that happens when sleigh bells are ringing, when December is, when the children are singing, yeah.
Hi guys, how are you? This is just later in the same day. I'm like this far. Can you see? 70% maybe. I'm on page 280 out of like 400, so I have a little over 100 pages left. I'm still like enjoying it, but I did skip ahead a little bit just to see like a vibe for the ending. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really like the vibe, to the point where I'm almost like considering DNFing it. I know it's the first in a series, but it's not making me feel good. I don't know. I don't like the feeling of this book. Like, I don't really want to talk about spoilers right now. I'll save that for my like wrap up. I'll do what particularly I didn't like about this. I know how it's gonna end. I think I have like under 20 pages, and then it'll really start picking up and like roll, and it'll probably be a pretty quick read through the end, especially since I like know the ending, so I can kind of skim to get to it. I already know that I'm not really gonna like the ending. I already know I don't like the ending, and I get like why it's gonna end like this. I purposely try to avoid books with this kind of ending vibe. Somebody's like leaf blowing or something right now. Cool. I can't tell you what it is, but I'll talk about it when I finish the book and we do some spoiler discussion. That should be later today if I can motivate myself to get through it and just finish this book and be done with it. I might be tempted to read the next in the series. I really hope that it's only going to be a duology. You never know these days. I guess I'll see you guys when I finish it. So far it's just I'm not really like vibing with it, unfortunately, because I was really looking forward to like a fun adventure. Maybe I'll just read Death on the Nile. Maybe I'll just read that instead. I want to start Agatha Christie. Maybe I should just look that up instead. Hi, I'm sitting on the floor. I finished it. I skimmed. Hurts my knees. A ton of skimming here. I knew all the major plot points, and so I just like boop, 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 just skimmed super fast. I didn't really want to sit and be in this book any longer than I needed to. I think I'm going to rate this like a 3-star or something, because it's not the book for me doesn't mean it's a bad book. Like, it's well written. If you like these kind of things, you'll probably like it. Like a mystery with a very little touch of magic. Like, the magic is very minimal in this book. It's barely there. It's there when like the plot needs it to be there, essentially. I'm gonna talk about spoilers now, so I'm gonna have a thing up on the screen that says spoiler talk. It'll actually probably be over here. I don't know. Actually, maybe it'll be over here. And I'll also have the timestamp right here for where to skip to if you don't want any spoilers and you want to jump ahead to my next and probably final read of the month. Are you gone? Okay. So this book, you're following Inez, and she goes to Egypt because her parents died, and she wants to figure out what happened because she doesn't believe that they just wandered out into the desert and died like what she's been told. Like, not wandered out, but like went out for some dig and died. So she doesn't believe that's what happened. She wants to go and find out what it was that happened, especially since her father sent her a package with a ring that seems to be from Cleopatra's tomb and makes her feel all tingly magic and roses. So she wants to go and see what happened to her parents. So she makes it over there. They keep trying to kick her back. There's a guy named Whit. He's not a research assistant. He's just like her uncle's helper. It was her parents and her uncle were like the main people on the digs that they would do. Her uncle's helper, Whit, is the love interest. And they say this is rivals to lovers. There's no rivalry here. There is no rivalry here. I don't know where they're getting rivals to lovers. It's just he doesn't want to date her or whatever. Like, not that dating's a thing, but they like each other, they're attracted to each other, but he's engaged and she can't marry somebody like him. She's supposed to marry like the consulate's son or whatever. So it's not they're not rivals. Why would you call this rivals? They're not rivals. Anyways, she manages to like get her way into their excavation. She finds like things that implicate her uncle in the murder of her parents. She thinks that he murdered them because of letters she found from her mother and other things. She thinks that he's doing these digs and then selling the things he finds, even though he says he's doing it to preserve Egypt and everything. So she thinks that he is selling them because that's what her mother's notes said, and she doesn't trust him. They're on this island for the dig to find Cleopatra's tomb, and her mother finds her, and as you would expect, her mother's like, he's stealing these things, I need you to help me get them and smuggle them out of here so that I can take them to the museum. And if you've ever read a book before in your life, you know where this is going. Maybe I'm just like a cynic or something, but I don't like the plots where you just know that this person is being deceived. You know it. Like, obviously, like, we've all seen the plot before where the person they think they can trust, they can't, and they're being deceived. So the whole time I was just kind of over it. I was just waiting. I was like, okay, her mom's gonna betray her, and that's gonna suck. And so that's when I started skimming ahead, because I was like, wait a minute, do we wrap up here, or is this going to be more? So I skimmed ahead and I saw the rest of the plot, and I was just like, I'm outie. So her mom obviously betrays her and runs away without her. She's like, you can come with me, but I forgot something. I think I dropped it at the top of the hill. Can you go get it? And by the time she comes back, she's already left the island with all the things she stole for her, and the men that came to pick her up, they're gone. She's upset, and Wit finds her, and he's like, no, your mom was the one that was stealing things to sell them to like collectors or do like black market sales. She's the one that's been doing it. Also, she was having an affair on your father, and your uncle didn't kill anybody, and if anybody killed your dad, it was your mom. So no big surprises there, really.
Editing yellow here, and I just want to say, as I'm going through this, another trope that I hate is a conversation could have prevented everything, and everybody knew all this. Everybody knew. The uncle knew, Wit knew, the other guy whose name I can't remember knew. Like, everybody knew that her mom was terrible and was doing this stuff, but they didn't tell her because they were like, no, you don't need to know anything, you don't need to know all of this stuff. And it's like, apparently she did. Apparently that would have been good for her to know, you know? If she had known, maybe we wouldn't be here.
But then her mom like skips out on a deal and doesn't sell to the people she said she was going to sell with. Her partner, she skips out on him, and the partner comes to collect Inez. But Inez's cousin had made her way over there because she follows Inez wherever she goes. So she followed over, gets kidnapped in Inez's place, and dies. She gets nerfed right in her head, right in front of Inez and Wit. Then they manage to get away. Well, they don't really get away. They kill the people that were there. So her cousin who came to find her is dead. Her mom has betrayed her. Her uncle is like, you need to go home. You need to leave. Like, I'm cutting off your inheritance unless you go home. You're not going to have any money. She needs to leave, or she needs to figure out her own way in Egypt. Like, he's like, you can stay, but I'm not helping you stay here and ruin your life, because she wants to stay and hunt down her mom and make her like pay for all this stuff that she's done. Her uncle was like, you don't get your inheritance until you get married. And so then Wit is like, marry me. But then you find out he sent a telegram to his brother, I think, that said Inez fell for it. Oh my god, I know. And so I'm just kind of like, there was nothing happy at the end of this book. I purposefully avoid books that like don't have some sort of like happy ending. Like, they can end like, oh no, we're still in trouble, but I like there to be some like levity in the situation. And that's just me personally. I don't read books to feel sad. I just don't. If I want to feel sad, I can turn on the news, because there's a lot of sad shit happening in the world right now. I don't need to read a book to feel sad. I already do that in my real life, alright? So I avoid books like this on purpose. I wish that I had known.
Editing yellow here. Cubby's here too, because I'm talking, so he thinks he needs to be here.
I just want to point out that if you go to Goodreads and you try to pick up The Evil Eye, which was listed as like a member favorite, it will tell you that it's melancholy. It will say, just a warning, this is a melancholy book. But if you go to pick up this book, What the River Knows, it doesn't give you any such warning. And that's one of my big problems, because this book is pretty heckin' melancholy, and they'll warn you about other books, but for some reason this book doesn't get a warning. If we're warning people about books being melancholy, like, why isn't this book warn? Like, why don't they warn people about this book? Like, is it just me that thinks this book is sad? Maybe I'm alone in this. Like, I always check like Storygraph's content warnings for books. If I'm looking into them, I'm like, oh, like, let's just check this. But I don't think it would have said like tone incredibly depressing. Like, I'm just really glad that I knew ahead of time that her cousin died. That would have like really hurt if I had just read it organically. I was just like skimming and saw that my mom needs to pay for Elvira, and I was like, what happened to Elvira? So I like flip back and find it. Whenever things like that happen in like books or movies, it just like shatters me for like days. I just don't feel okay. The movie The Departed, that ending, I was not okay for a while. So I'm just kind of glad I skipped ahead. I think this book is a good book, but it's just not a book for me. I think that's it. The ending is sad and it doesn't make you feel good. And it's the first book in a series that's not out yet. I didn't really look too hard, but I didn't see any information on any future books in the series, just that this is the first one. So if the rest of the series was out, okay, at least I can go on. But this is why I don't start unfinished series, is because of things like this. I think I will vet the next book in the series a little bit more. I need to know like what's happening before I decide to actually invest in the second book. It's a good book. It's well written. If you like that kind of story, like go for it. But it's not for me. My legs are falling asleep. So that's it. I'll see you guys when I start the next book. I need to read something happy because it's just been like seasonal sad time for me right now. And then I read this book. Not doing good today. It's not a good day for me. I am overwhelmed and I'm reading a very sad book. So I'm going to go play my horse game and ride my unicorn around. And I'm going to watch Gavin's Wizard of Oz video. So hopefully that'll put me in a better mood. I'll see you guys when I start the next and last book of the month, I think.
I remember the days, all those years ago that never fade away. And I remember your face when you hit the ground. I can recall the time and place on a midnight walk through the old streets, trying to turn back the clock to the days of old. Back to the days when all the things we knew were made of gold. As the world moves on.
Hi guys, good morning. It's Monday the 27th. This is the room I'm going to be turning into like my office. Very exciting. Can you tell I broke my headphones? I'm so bummed. I need to get some new Bluetooth headphones. So I'm about to begin this process that has to be done by next Wednesday. It's going to be a bit of a grind. I decided that I'm not going to read Paladin's Grace this month, partly because I don't want to, and also because I'm going to be doing a lot of shopping this Christmas season, and I kind of want to start collecting T. Kingfisher books because I love their books. Amazing. Everything I read by them, I've loved it. I'm going to return this to the library, and through my like Christmas shopping, I might pick it up myself because I've heard really good things about the series. So maybe I just want to own it and then read it. You might have seen, but I'm going to read this. This was on my like end of year tag as a book that I really wanted to finish this year. It actually came out last December, so I've had it floating around for longer than I thought I have. I really want to finish it. I'm already at like 70% through it. This is gonna be my last read of November probably, because I have a lot of other things I need to do this week. I need to finish this. I need to edit this. I mean, I've been editing it through the month, but I need to get it done, and I have a bunch of other videos to edit because I am working ahead a whole month. My fiance is going to be here from Australia. He gets here next Wednesday. I want to do like minimal work while he's here. I'm going to have pretty much every video through the 22nd of December done before he gets here. That's my plan, is to have most of December already done. So I have to work on this channel and on my Comfy Game channel, which is a little bit more difficult because that channel is like a weekly react to the update channel. So I have to figure out how I'm gonna do that, but that's not for this. So yeah, I'm reading this. It's super cute. If you're not familiar, this is book 4 in the Well Met series, and I just saw that she's been greenlit for book 5. Very excited. I don't know who it's gonna be about, honestly, but I'm hyped about it. This series follows people who are centered on Ren fairs, specifically this one. Hang on, my cat wants to come in. Oh, do say hello. Specifically one, I think, in Mystic Falls. Am I thinking correctly? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's centered around like a small East Coast Ren fair, and each one follows a different couple. This one is following a guy who is part of the Twisted Kilts or Three Kilts. Obviously, it's been a long time. The Dueling Kilts So it follows Dex in the dueling kilt. He's known as like the ladies man. He has a girl at every fair and everything. He and this woman, Louisa, she's a lawyer, but she hates her job. So one day she just quits it, and her cousin is part of the planning for the Mystic Falls Ren Fair, but he has friends on the Ren Fair circuit. And so she quits her job and just shows up at the Ren Fair. She doesn't know what she's gonna do. And her cousin is like, hey, why don't you just hang out with my friends and follow them on their Ren Fair circuit until you get to Mystic Falls. I hope that's what it is. And then you can stay with me and we'll figure out what we're gonna do for you. She's like living with them in their trailer thing that they drive from Ren Fair to Ren Fair, and a romance blossoms. At the point I'm at, I'm kind of waiting for like the conflict to arise because they're almost to Mystic Falls. So we know that there's going to be a thing where, you know, they really like each other. They don't want it to end, but they know it's going to end because he's going to keep going on the Ren Fair and she has to decide what she's going to do with her life. It's going to be hard for her too because she's made so many friends on the Ren Fair. I love these books. They're so cute. There's like special editions out right now. I think it's like on Everlight. They are so cute. I want them so bad, but 80 pounds is a lot right now. So maybe if they're like still in stock in January, I'll think about it. I sent it to my fiance, so maybe it'll show up for Christmas. No, it won't. They're not shipping until January anyways, but hopefully they're gonna keep them up there for a while because this is not a good time for me to be dropping 80 pounds on myself. Anyways, I'm gonna read this book, but first I'm going to deal with this space. There's cobwebs all over the ceiling. The floor needs to be super vacuumed. This desk that I'm using right now needs to be cleaned off. It's just today is like the initial cleaning day, and I might start trying to move my desk over here. My kind of plan is to put my desk coming out in front of the door, like going this way, and then put a bunch of bookshelves in this like little nook here. This desk is going to be my fiance's desk, and I'm kind of want to rotate it and shove it against the wall. And this thing is also kind of temporary, I think. My fiance is just going to use it while he's here, and then we'll decide if we want to keep it or not for when he moves here, hopefully in the spring. But yeah, so I'm going to be doing that. I'll see you guys later when I finish the book. It'll probably be my final update for this vlog. Oh my god, it's been a long time coming. I think I said what day I started it on. I'm excited to see because I didn't mean for this to be a whole month. All right, I'll see you guys in the final update.
Lately, my monkey mind is turning over. All the times that knock me off my swing, the break in the chain link. Lately, I'm trying to find some kind of closure.
Hi guys, it's like 2 days later, but I did finish this book that day that I said I was going to finish it, whatever that day was. I honestly, no memory. I think it's been 2 days because I have just been working on this office space, which I'm pretty happy with so far. I think it needs some like twinkle lights and stuff, but still in progress. I'm working on it, so I'm gonna have a more consistent background, or backgrounds at least, and I'm gonna be getting some better lighting in here because this has better lighting than my other spaces, but still cave. So all right, I don't have a whole lot of time. I'm about ready to go out for my mom's birthday dinner, so I want to wrap this up. I finished Well Traveled by DeLuca. I think I rated it, I don't even remember. I think I rated it 3 or 4 stars, something like that. It was good, it was cute, it was exactly what you wanted it to be. This one, out of all of them, was the least like, I want to say like angsty, because you kind of knew the conflict was coming. You knew that like at some point they were gonna have to address the fact that she was just traveling with them for the summer, and they were gonna have to figure out how to move forward from that. It was less of like a, you were hoping that they could work it out. Like you knew that they were gonna have to separate for a little bit at least and go from there. It was cute. I recommend the series if you like cute romances and Renaissance fairs. I love this series. Yes, I finished that, and that is the last book for this video. I'm not sure if it's gonna be my last video for November, although we only have one more day of November, so I think it is, because tonight's gonna be me editing this video and doing other stuff. I have such a long to-do list, and I have 6 days to get it done. This time next week my fiance is gonna be here. I am picking him up in the morning next Wednesday in Portland, and then he's gonna be here for a whole month. Yeah, I have a lot to do before then. I have a lot to do. I'm very stressed. So I think that's it for this vlog. It got way bigger than I intended it to be, and I thought at some point to just like cut it down and end it earlier, but honestly, like, one of my favorite kind of videos to watch are long reading vlogs. So I was kind of like, they tell you to make the content that you want to watch, and you know what, I want to watch long reading vlogs, so I hope you want to watch long reading vlogs. And if you did watch all of this, oh my gosh, let me know in the comments, please. I would just die. Thank you guys so much for hanging out today. I hope you enjoyed it. This is my first time working with like b-roll and music and stuff, so I hope that that worked out well as well. I haven't done it yet. So fingers crossed for tonight, Meow Love, to work on that and get it all set up and everything. This will be coming out the week after my November wrap up, so hopefully that was also well received and you liked that. I'm filming that tomorrow. So I need to stop saying so and like. I think that's going to be one of my New Year's resolutions regarding booktube stuff, is to stop saying so and like and because. I need to get a little bit better at speaking with more word variations. I need to think about more conjunctions I can use here. Alright, I think that's it for me in this vlog. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. This was such a fun thing to film and talk about. I love talking about books, and I can only talk my fiance's ear off so much. I hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe. I'm new to booktube. I would appreciate it if you would say something and let me know you were here, and I'll see you guys next week. Oh, before I forget, good news is I found my old streaming microphone. I have a new one for streaming, but I found an old one that I'm gonna try and use, so maybe this will be the last video with this dumb little guy. Hopefully. That would be great. For real this time. Thank you for watching. You guys are awesome. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!